Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Renewal Center's Tea Time Tuesday. I am so glad that you are joining me today. Well, joining us today. Actually, I am flying solo today. I'm so excited that you all are joining me for another time of Tea Time Tuesday, and that is pausing, taking time to reflect, taking time to build resilience. I want to welcome each and every one of you today. Hello to my sister Renita. Thank you for joining today. It's so good to see you. I hope that you are cool over there in Alabama. And go ahead, everybody, like and share, invite a friend today. I'm telling you, I'm just so excited. The last couple of tea times, we had a great time of journaling. And if this is your first time here at Tea Time Tuesday at the Renewal Center, I want to welcome you. And I would like for you to take the time to pause, to stop. This is a great time midday on a Tuesday to stop, to pause, to reflect, also to reset yourself, and then to build resilience. Hello, Pamela. How you doing out there? Thank you for joining me today. I just got through asking Renita if she's staying cool. I hope you're staying cool wherever you are. And it's just a great afternoon. We want you to go ahead and to like and subscribe to our channel. For those of you that have not already, we invite each and every one to take part in the Renewal Center and what we're doing. And one of those things that we are doing here is, again, on a Tuesday afternoon, we are taking the time to pause, to reset, to build resilience here at the Renewal Center for Tea Time Tuesday. So hello to all of our tea timers. And like we always say here at the Renewal Center, we want to get our likes up. We want to get our likes up and our participation. So go ahead and press that like button and invite some others to join us today. I'm so excited today to bring to you our awareness of the month. And so if you could just take an opportunity today to think about some of the awarenesses that we've had at the Renewal Center. In the month of July, we are celebrating and we are honoring Minority Health, Mental Health Awareness Month. Again, like always, we want to continue to bring awareness to great mental health and strategies that we can do to maintain mental health. And so we are very thankful for this time this month to focus on the mental health of minorities. And so we ask that you would wear this color if you have an opportunity, that lime green, to show support for minority mental health awareness. Again, those of you that are coming on to join us today, I am flying solo. So I'm going to ask for your participation, like always. Renewal Center. Hello, there's our ministry team leader, Monique. It's good to see you this afternoon. Hope you're staying cool. And hello, Crystal. How are you? And hello to you too. It's good to see you all today. Again, go ahead and like and subscribe. Invite a friend. Got your tea? This is a great time to go get your tea really quick, because we're getting ready to dive into some great renewal practices today. Before we do that, I want to bring our attention to our tea of the week. Our tea of the week is strawberry iced tea. I'm telling you, we need some tea, some nice iced tea for this heat. And I think strawberry iced tea is a pretty good iced tea for the summer to cool us down. And then it's nice and fruity. It gives us a nice flavor. Those of you that have had strawberry iced tea or smoothie or something like that, go ahead and put it in the chat. Let me know if you've tried that, or share with the other tea timers if there's something that you like about it. I see Monique is coming in with, she says it sounds delicious. It does. I think I've had a strawberry infused iced tea, and it does taste really good. Yes, I like it too. It does sound nice. Thank you all for that. And so let me know, or let us know at the Renewal Center if you've tried strawberry iced tea when we come again next week for another round of our Tea Time Tuesday. And so with that being said, let's take a time out, kind of like a time out, and get ourselves together, get our thoughts together. Some of us have been traveling, some of us have been racing through the day, or we've had a lot on our plate. We've just been doing a lot. And so Tea Time Tuesday is a great way for us to bring calm into our day and to gain some awareness to help us build resilience in our lives. What do y'all think of that? And so before we get started with our locating ourselves, I want to ask everyone a question. If you could fill a positivity jar, what positive word would you put in it today? Go ahead and put that in the chat. How are you feeling? What's a positive word that you can share with another tea timer today to kind of boost morale in your office or on your team? Go ahead and put that in the chat for us. And before we get ready to go into our time of locating ourselves, that would be a good thing for us to kind of encourage one another today. So I'll lead the way. How about intentionality? Intentionality. I'm going to be intentional about doing great things. I want to empower others and encourage you today to be intentional. Actually, that's kind of part of what we're going to talk about today on Tea Time Tuesday. That's a little element of what we're going to talk about. But go ahead and put something positive in the chat. And then we're going to go right into our time of locating ourselves. So let's do that. Let's get comfortable. For those of you that are joining us for the first time on Tea Time Tuesday, that's where we sit, relax our shoulders, and we take the opportunity to just be still and to allow ourselves to have self-compassion for ourselves and to relax just for a moment. I see some comments coming in. Yes, gratitude. That's one of my favorite words. Thank you, Pamela. Yes, gratitude. We need more of gratitude. Gratitude sets the pace of the day and sets the pace of the moment. Thank you, Nita. Peace. Yes, I need more peace today. How many of you guys can take hold of peace? So I encourage you to take hold of peace. Right now, we need some more viewers. So go out there and invite some friends to come join us this afternoon for our renewal practices. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with locating ourselves. So let's take a moment, relax our shoulders, taking a deep breath, and let's get started with a moment of pausing. I hope you all enjoy that moment of just being still and taking the time to locate yourself. Again, some of us have been running a rat race, or we've got so many things on our plates, and we just need a moment. We need a moment of relaxation and being still. So I'm really excited that you've taken the time to join me today. And so we're going to get started with our renewal practices today. How many of you all have really enjoyed our last two sessions? Patrick, our executive director, he came forth with us to show us some good ways of doing some great way of journaling and really looking at where we are, being self-aware. I'm going to kind of continue on that vein a little bit today, but what I'd like to do is ask you all a question, and I really would like your participation today, because I believe that this particular renewal practice can help all of us. Because how many of y'all have dreams and aspirations and those type of things? This will challenge you to go beyond what you think. And so right now I'm going to ask you all a question as I show you this quote. Today, first of all, we're going to start off, and this is talking about surpassing your comfort zone, because many of us need to be stretched, or we desire to be stretched and make the stretch to do more in our lives and what we are doing. And want to welcome you all to Tea Time Tuesday. I see some viewers coming in today. Good afternoon to you all. We're talking about surpassing your comfort zone, making the stretch to do more. Okay, so as we are looking at that, I'm going to put this quote out there, and I would like to get your feedback on that. Here it is. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? Wow, isn't that something? This is one of my favorite quotes. This is absolutely one of my favorite quotes. It always empowers me. What would you attempt to do if you knew that you could not fail? And let's think about that. Think about your comfort zone. We're going to go back to the title of today, Surpassing Your Comfort Zone, making the stretch to do more. What do you think you're going to do? What would you do? What avenue would you take? What endeavors would you step into if you knew you could not fail to do it? Think about that. Think about your comfort zone. I know I'm behind the screen right now, but I'm kind of wanting to, get your interest on this question. And so I'm going to go ahead and ask this question again. What would you do, or what would you attempt to do? And that quote is by Robert Schuller. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you step out to do? What is that one thing, that great thing? We got that quote unquote, that great thing that's inside of you that you would attempt to do, that kind of you feel a little intimidated to do, if you knew you couldn't fail. Again, let's put this out here again, because I really would like you to look at that. The comfort zone is that place. So if you think about the comfort zone, it's that place that says, I'm comfortable right here. It's easy right here. It doesn't really demand much strategy or any persistence on you. It doesn't demand anything new or difficult. It's a place that you feel familiar. How many of you guys have a comfort zone? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Do you have a comfort zone? How do you feel in that comfort zone? And, the comfort zone is a good place to be, because if you think about the comfort zone, it could be a positive place because you're actively building. You're building upon what you already have. You're mastering what you already have. And that's a great thing to be. And so you get into a comfort zone and you're settling in your strengths, you're settling in and all those things. So that could be a very positive place to be. But how about stepping beyond that? What does that look like when you surpass your comfort zone? Oh my gosh, I see some things coming in the chat here. Okay, Monique is saying, I would create generational wealth and build homes for my family and those less fortunate. That's stretching out. Monique is going beyond where she is now. She's looking at, this is what she's going to create. And Monique, I like what you put there. I would create. So she's already in a mode. She's already in a place of, I see it happening. I'm going to create. I'm going to build upon what I already have, but I'm going beyond that. And so she's looking at generational. This is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And you guys take note of what we're sharing with one another in our Tea Time community, because we're sharpening one another here. Pamela is saying, yes, I have a real good comfort zone. And you know what? It's okay. Because some of us get in a comfort zone. Like I said, it's okay to be in a comfort zone because you're mastering what you already have. You're building upon your strengths. But what about going beyond? That place beyond our comfort zone, the comfort level or the scope of where you are. Or how about going beyond that expertise that you have? Now, see, that sounds a little bit of intimidating, doesn't it? I've been in places that's been intimidating. I've had things that I would like to do that I'm like, I don't know. That seems like that's out of my zone, out of my level of doing. But when you stretch yourself and when you go beyond the comfort zone, it challenges us, right? It challenges us and it pushes us to do more. When you are, whenever you're stretching to go beyond, when you are reaching for something, you're stretching, aren't you? I mean, when I do my stretches every day and I get on the floor and I stretch, I'm going beyond where I am. I'm stretching beyond. And it takes a stretching to reach, a requirement to reach a little further each time. And in order to reach, it's going to require some form of stretching. And that's a positive thing. I see some remarks coming in here. Pamela, I would fearlessly embrace and expand these business opportunities that are being introduced to me. You guys, I love this. I love this because, see, now we're in a place of seeing beyond where we are, right? And when we're challenged to go beyond our comfort zone, that is amazing, because we're pushing ourselves. And I like how Pamela said, I would fiercely embrace. Monique said she's going to create. Now, Pamela's coming with embracing expansion. This is a great thing. Thank you for sharing this. Your business opportunities. This is great. Thank you so much. And I say executive director out there. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, you're speaking to me this week. Sometimes we need to be stretched. Sometimes we're actually placed in a place of, okay, I don't know. But going beyond that opens up so many opportunities. And so we're going to talk about that today, to look at surpassing or going beyond our comfort zone. This applies to all of us that want to challenge ourselves. I like how Monique talked about generational wealth she wants to create. I mean, it's like, this is what I really want to do. And then, Pamela comes back about embracing a new way of expanding herself. We can make a stretch and do more. And this brings us in the element of pausing, resetting, and building resilience. How do you guys think about that? Our renewal practice today, what we're going to talk about, is going to stop us in our tracks and slow us down so that we can become more inquisitive. That's the buzzword of the day, inquisitive, right? We're going to talk about that in a second. And we become more inquisitive of some of the great things. Y'all go ahead and hashtag great things. You'll see in a minute what we're talking about. But we're becoming more inquisitive about great things that we want to embark on, that we want to explore, that we want to discover. I'm telling you, I get excited when I'm empowered about that, and when I can empower others about going beyond where we are. Is it easy? No, it's not. So we're going to talk about that today. And so I believe that the renewal practice today is going to push us to reset. It's going to refresh us to see new perspectives, or even recalibrate. How many of you guys can use some recalibrating? I know I can. It's going to recalibrate us in a new direction. Or it could add on, for us to add on so we can pursue new endeavors, so we can grow. And then it will build resilience. I believe if you really take a moment to become more determined. Oh my gosh, there's been many areas of my life where I have literally had to build resilience by pushing myself to become more determined, to go beyond my self-limitations. Isn't that something? Go beyond our self-limitations, or even going beyond the limitations that the barriers that may come up in our lives to kind of hinder us or stop us from pursuing our goals. It could be anything. And so we're going to talk about becoming more brave, becoming courageous, and moving forward. So here it is. I'm going to go back to this quote again. Thank you so much. Yes, for you guys for hashtagging great things. Yes, great things. So here we go. Let's look at that quote again. What would you attempt to do? And I'm going to keep going back to this quote throughout the renewal practice. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? This is so profound. If we just knew within ourselves, I couldn't fail. So if I knew I couldn't fail, then, what would you do? And so I always use this quote to help me to continue dreaming, to see beyond limitations. So at the top of your journal, if you guys have your journal today, because we're going to kind of be in the same vein a little bit like last week, where we're kind of really thinking and jotting things down. And I really want to go back as you are listening to the renewal practice, and as we are engaging in it today, think about that quote. What would I do? What would I step out into? What would I really embark on if I knew I couldn't fail? If I knew I could do it? And so at the top of your journal page today, we're going to move forward in something like that. I want you to start writing a few things. Here it is. Let me put this back out here. Some of my slides are a little out of order here, but here we go. I want to write this down. This is what we're going to talk about today. And remember, our title is Surpassing Your Comfort Zone, Making the Stretch to Do More. And it's talking about doing more. It's the doing more part that jumps out to me. It's the doing more part. How can we do more? How can we stretch ourselves? How can we stretch ourselves beyond our comfort zone? So I came up with 4 C's that can challenge us to step outside our immediate comfort level. It could be in our career. It could be in our job. It could just be some of the things we've been dreaming about. long-term goals, short-term goals, things for our families, personal growth, whatever area you want to get outside of that comfort zone of where you are is going to kind of require these 4 things. Now, these are the 4 things I came up with, but I'm sure that there are other areas. Let's get started with the first one, curiosity. So write these 4 C's at the top of your page: curiosity, contemplation, courage, and confidence. We're going to need curiosity. We're going to need contemplation. We're going to need courage and confidence to step outside of our immediate goal, zone. Okay, so I'll leave that up there really quick so you can write those down. But in the meantime, let's talk about curiosity. Curiosity. If you think about curiosity really quick, and we're going to dive into it a little bit more, but in order for us to step outside of that line, that zone or wherever we're in, to go beyond and to stretch, it's going to take us to take interest in that thing, that great thing. I know, and many of you have known, you know, I always talk about progression, but in order for you to go to the next level of college or expertise or whatever it may be, it's going to require a little bit more. I know some of you, in order to be in the profession that you're in, you had to take exams, certifications, and it's like, oh, I got to step, even though it was a requirement. Some of us may have felt, oh gosh, I got to go to this next phase. It's going to require more of me, more of what I don't even know if I can do this. But sometimes what we've been dreaming about takes curiosity, taking interest in that great thing that you've been wanting to do or being drawn to. How many of you guys are drawn to something? There's something that always piques your interest. You know, you're inquisitive about it. That's curiosity. You're asking questions. Well, how does that work? What can I do? How can I contribute? Or, you know, you start asking these questions. So it takes, going back to the 4 C's, it's going to take curiosity. It's going to take curiosity. Next, contemplation. That's where you're actively processing. That's where you take the time to reflect. And we do a lot of that on Tea Time Tuesday. We're thinking about a practice. We're thinking about a concept that can help us. But in the terms of stepping beyond our comfort zone, sometimes it's going to take contemplation. It's going to take us thinking. I'm going to show a little bit of that in a minute, but I'm just kind of giving a summary. It's reflecting or pondering. And then what about courage? Okay, that's that intentionality that's going to jump out. It's going beyond my scope. Okay, I don't know anything about this. This is new to me. This is a new team. This is a new strategy. This is a new endeavor. It looks way too big. Oh my gosh. Whoo, I got to go beyond my scope because this is something I don't know nothing about. I really don't know. It's going to take me more to dive into it, more to push myself to be, to take the initiative to do what I need to do in order to have what I want to have. And then confidence. It's that positive cultivation of your personal growth. You're going to need that in order to step outside of the zones that we are in. And so let's dive in a little bit more. We're going to dive in just a little bit more. What so far has jumped out to you, Tea Timers, today with one of these 4 C's? What's jumped out the most? Because each one of these elements really do help us. Sometimes we may need a little bit more curiosity. We need to let me just let myself find out more about this and be more inquisitive about it. Or we may need to contemplate and not just, well, that's okay. Well, look at all of the ideas. Look at everything that's around it. Or building up that courage or that inner strength and building confidence where we are. So let's look at the first one, and then we're going to jump into some renewal practices and some journaling. Okay, let's start with the very first one on there, and that is curiosity. And I'm trying to find my slide. Curiosity. Curiosity is a desire to know or to learn. And so what is the outcome, and what is the benefit of being curious or having that sense of inquisitiveness about this thing? Maybe I want to start this business. Maybe I'm being led to do this particular career, Or maybe it may just be something that I know nothing about that, but that has always piqued my interest. When you look at curiosity, it fosters inquisitiveness. It prompts you to ask questions. That's what pulls you out of the comfort zone. Curiosity. I don't see anything in the chat, so I guess you guys are thinking. So number one, let's look at curiosity. What is that great thing you want to do? What would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? So let's apply curiosity to that. Okay, if I knew I couldn't fail at this, let me get more inquisitive about what is that? How can I do that? What is it going to entail for me to move in the direction of that goal or that thing, that great thing? Next, not only curiosity, but now remember we talked about contemplation. Contemplation is taking the time for reflection, to think things through. Okay, all right, now I'm curious. I'm finding out the information. So now I'm going to think, well, let me put myself in the picture or the frame of this new thing I want to do. As I'm stretching myself, I'm thinking. As I'm stretching myself, I'm developing goals and strategy. I see myself journaling about this. I see myself writing about this. I see myself developing a goal, aspiring to do that great thing, or building a strategy of actually accomplishing it. So not only are we curious, now we're thinking about it. Okay, so after we're thinking about contemplating and journaling it out, so now what do? We focus on gaining courage. Okay, that's that area that we feel intimidated. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that because that goal seems to be way too big. It's beyond my scope. You know, there may be barriers in my limited thinking, or somebody else might be saying, you can't do that. That you can't, you're too old. You're too this, or you too that, or you know, whatever that, or you may be telling yourself, oh, I'm too old, or that's not my field, that's not my scope. But you know, what pulls you out of the comfort zone is courage. And courage is the strength to exceed your limitations. Are we all there? No, not all the time, but courage pulls us there. And the benefit of courage is it fosters intentionality to step out. It pushes us. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this thing. And it stretches us beyond what we know. Remember, when we talked about reaching. In order to reach, you have to stretch. And so it takes courage to step out. And when you're stepping out, it's an intentional stretching. I see a remark coming in. Let's see who's putting some things in the chat. Yes, contemplate. Thank you, Monique. That is a really important element, because now we're taking the time to think things through. I want to build generational wealth. I want to move forward and move in this business. I want to advance my team. I want to shift the way that I do things in my interactions, or the way I'm studying, or pursue my goals. So now I need to contemplate. I need to think. I need to see myself in this. What strategies can I develop? What goals can I develop just from thinking? We can't leave the thinking part out, or the reflecting part out. So I thank you for sharing that. And Crystal, she's saying, I plan to go back to school and get my bachelor's in finance while taking my prereqs for grad school to eventually get my DPT. Isn't that amazing? It takes that one level of contemplation. It takes a level of courage. Okay, I'm going to step outside of this. Maybe I've been in this career all this time, or maybe I've been in this mode. Maybe I want to learn something. Maybe I want to, whatever it is that is like kind of intimidating, kind of like there's a little wall there that says, oh, I don't know. And remember, I said comfort zone sometimes is a great place to be, because you are cultivating where you are, your strength. So now you're gaining momentum. But what about that thing, that great thing that I really desire to do this? But it's that little voice back there that says, oh, that's okay, you can't do that, or there's limitations, or but there's always timing. Now we want to move in timing, but what about that nudge? What about that stretching? What about that growing? It takes courage. And so with courage, the last one that we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about these 4 C's right here, it's confidence. Okay, Confidence. Let's look at confidence. Confidence, and I kind of put this in my own words because there's so many definitions, but it's like a positive assurance and gain strength in your abilities. It's like, I can do this. I can. And you're building that continual growth with a winning mindset. So when you're stretching yourself, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, this is just empowering me to see beyond where I am even now. When you're looking at down the road, or even this year or next year goals, short or long-term goals, as you build confidence, courage, you take courage, you build confidence to foster that growth that you need. So while you are actually outside of the comfort zone, the confidence comes, the building resilience comes because you're continually growing and your mindset is a winning mindset. How are you guys doing out there with this? I hope that this is bringing, something great to you today to think beyond, because it might be that great thing, that grand thing, that thing that I really have a desire to do this. I'm really drawn to do this, whatever that may be. But I feel like, how can I step beyond my zone? How can I step beyond my scope of where I am? And so with that being said, let's take a moment. We're going to journal for a little while. And I got some writing prompts. So I would encourage you to take these writing prompts, write them at the top of your journal today. As you're taking this moment, we're going to do small segments, and then just take a minute and really think about these 4 C's. And the questions, the question is going to prompt you to think about where you are with that. As you are writing, go back to this. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail at it? Okay, question number 1. Let's see if I can find the first one. We're going to stop with curiosity. Okay. What are those great things and ideas that have piqued your interest? Ask yourself, what has piqued my interest? What is that thing that, okay, I'm really attracted to that. I'm really drawn to that. I really desire to do that. Maybe it's a dream, whatever it may be, that great thing. Why are these things or these ideas interesting to me? Think about that. Why is it interesting to me? So now we're focusing on ourselves. That's that curiosity. And then what would I like to learn more about or explore? Okay, so as you are doing that, I want you to just take that moment. Think about that great thing, that wonderful thing. And then I'm going to ask you to circle, once you make a list of those things, circle the top 3 things that interest you, those ideas or that thing. Or maybe it might be one, but you might have more than one. You may have 10 things, but let's focus on the top 2 or 3 things that you can work on. Okay. And what do you want to learn? So while you are doing that, I'll do that like we did last week, play a little bit of music here, and I see a response coming in. I'm going to read that, Tea Timers, while you write these questions down and then start answering them. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this first question. Okay, Renita says, that was right on time for me. Got to step out of my comfort zone. Thank you, sis. Thank you, Nita. Okay, let's take a moment and let's work on this first activity, reflecting on curiosity. Okay, so we're coming back to our first reflection activity of curiosity. How are you all doing with that? Is this helping in any way? Are you beginning to see that great big thing that is really challenging you to step outside of the comfort zone that you're in? Go ahead, put yes, whatever you want to respond in the chat. I know you're writing, but we're just engaging a little bit in, in our time today. Curiosity. As you are pondering that, let's go to the next exercise. We're going to do another reflection exercise. First was curiosity. And so now we're going to move to contemplation. Take a moment to write down your pros and benefits of the great thing that you would like to do. Okay, so what is the pros? What are the advantages for doing something? The benefit of the great thing that you would like to do. How can you make this a goal? And what are the possibilities for you? So take a moment. We're going to do the same thing. Write that down at the top of your page. Look at the top three things that you wrote down for curiosity, and now put that into contemplation. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and play the music so that you can go ahead and take a moment and contemplate. Okay, you're now on our contemplation reflection activity. And so I hope that you are taking the time to actually reflect, to really look at those pros and cons and how you can make this into a goal. Those top three things that we just talked about, being curious about. And I hope that you have an opportunity to write, well, what are the possibilities for you to achieve those goals? Or if you did make a strategy, think about that. How is it possible for you to actually implement those things? And so thank you for looking at that one. I got a remark coming in from Monique, and I'm really glad that she's sharing this. And she's saying, I would like to learn more about the process of creating generational wealth. And I want to back up here. I like how Monique is writing this out because this is contemplation. Now she's looking at ideas. How do I see myself in this? What's the information? What is the direction I need to move into to even implementing or stepping out my comfort zone to make this happen? And like she said, I'd like to learn more about the process of creating generational wealth. I think this is important for our culture to learn and access information about this. So now she's contemplating about, well, how is this going to make a difference? How am I seeing myself using this? And why is this important to me? Isn't this interesting? There's a curiosity, there's an inquisitiveness there. And then there's that action that she's taken to contemplate about it. Thank you so much for sharing, Monique. And if anybody else wants to share what they, or, a little bit of what they're writing, or maybe something that jumped out to you with the curiosity and contemplation, go ahead and put it in the chat. We're going to continue this with our next exercise. Now, we don't have a whole lot of time on Tea Time to do this. You can always come back and continue with your journaling. But our next one, we're going to focus not on just curiosity or contemplation, but now we're going to focus on courage, because now we need the courage to step out, the intentionality to step out. So in what ways could you build courage to step outside of your comfort zone to make this possibility a reality? So you want to build this team. You want to, like as Monique was saying, her goal is to build generational wealth. I know Pamela, she was talking about she wanted to move forward in business. Maybe there's something you want to establish, or something new you want, just something. It doesn't have to be all that grand, but it's still outside of your scope. And I really desire to learn this. Well, in order to take courage, and I'm talking to me, what ways could I build courage? What can I do? How can I build courage to step outside of my comfort zone? There's that building resilience to bounce back. And then there's that reset to recalibrate where I am. Let's think about that. I got a response coming in. Pamela is saying, in my business, I want to learn more updated process for marketing my clients. And, that might be, as she's writing, this is something that's beyond her scope. So now she wants to pursue and develop new techniques, learn new practices on how she's going to move forward in her business applications. Thank you guys for sharing that. That takes courage, because taking courage shows us that we don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know the ins and outs of this, but I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to try. So let's take a minute. I'm not going to play the music for this one because we're talking through it. Write down, what ways could you build courage? What is that going to take? Taking a class, talking to somebody in that expertise. I mean, what is that? What is it going to take? What avenues will you take to learn? Will it be affirmations that you have to speak every day, or write down affirmations, journal those things that are going to build you up? Is it aligning yourself with maybe a group or a group of people that are in that industry? What is it that you would do to build courage? That's an amazing thing. I know I'm not on the screen, so let me go ahead and get myself back on the screen so I could at least engage you. But courage, if you think about that, that's one of those 4 C's that we need to help us step out of our comfort zone into something new, something different. I'm stretching way beyond my scope of knowledge here, but it takes courage to do so. And so last but not least, let's move to our last reflection activity, and that is confidence. Okay, now this is going to take a minute of you to really think. What are your core strengths? And you can go back. Remember, you can always go back and really use this to gauge where you are. What are your core strengths? How would you even use your core strengths to build your confidence in this new great thing or this idea that you desire to accomplish? Sometimes we forget about our core strengths. We forget that we have some really great abilities, capabilities, competencies that we have that can really push us into not only taking a step, but to cultivate where we are. Because remember, confidence is a level of growth. It's like you're growing. And as you grow into something, you become more, let me go back to what I said about confidence, because I don't want to misquote what I said. So confidence is that positive assurance and gain strength in our ability. It's that assurance, right? And so as we take the time to think about confidence, let me put that back up. What are your core strengths? Is it, I'm just trying to think of all the different strengths that you may have. Is it you're a great developer? I'm a great administrator. I know how to plan. I know how to problem solve. Whatever that may be. What are your strengths? What is it? Organizational skills, communication skills. What will it take for you to use those things to build your confidence in that area? And this is a great way to help you stretch yourself today. We all need that stretching, but we forget that the confidence comes once we start pulling on those inner strengths that we have. When we pull on those inner strengths, it helps us sometimes to go beyond those mental barriers, those personal barriers that may kind of stop us from achieving or even stepping out. And so, again, those 4 C's, as you sit and reflect, I hope you wrote these questions down because that way you can go back later, you can replay the video and maybe use this as a launching pad for whatever you're trying to step into. Maybe it is that level of expertise. I have nothing. I have no knowledge. I don't know, or whatever. I got to take this new test, or I got to approach an exam, or I have to make a big shift, and I really don't know. And so as you are making that shift and you're getting curious, you're contemplating, we are taking the time to build courage, to actually step out saying, I don't know, but I'm going to try. And you're pulling on that inner strength and cultivating it through what? Confidence. You're building, you're growing. And so this is for all of us, you know. So we go back to that first question. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? It's like a mindset and a mentality of a winning mindset that, you know what? If I knew I couldn't fail and I can write this plan out and I can move in this goal, or I can get into that great thing that I really desire or am led to do, then how can I do that? How can I go beyond my comfort zone? Because it looks like I don't think I can do that. But those 4 C's can help all of us to go beyond that. So I'm going to ask for your feedback. Is there something that you would like to share what you're getting out of this, or what you're going to use, or how you're going to use it to help you stretch yourself? 2025, we are in July, and the months ahead, maybe there's some goals for 2026 or the next 4, 5, 6 years that you want to see yourself. That's me too. And now it's a place that, okay, I know this is going to be outside of my scope, but I got to step out and I need some tools to help me. I see a remark coming in. Let's see who's this. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Core strengths. These are her core strengths. Willingness to learn, perseverance through challenges, and embracing change for new things. You know, thank you for sharing that core strength, that you're sharing those things, willingness to learn. There's that inquisitiveness, perseverance through challenge. That alone is courage. That's bravery. And maybe some of us might need to pull on that brave aspect of our lives to help us persevere through the walls, through the challenges, through the, no, you can't do this, or there's a lot of resistance coming up to maybe say, well, you're not going to be able to complete this. Maybe there's something you wanted to complete, you kind of put it down, right? You put it to the side and you didn't pick it up because you're like, I don't know if I can do that. But I thank you, Pamela, for sharing some of your core strengths with us, because that helps us to embracing change, or change management helps all of us see, okay, it is possible. There are possibilities. And so what can we do with the possibilities? That quote that we mentioned earlier talks about possibilities. What could we do if we knew we couldn't fail? What thing would we actually embark on if we knew that we could not fail in that? And so I'm excited that we all, had this opportunity today to sharpen ourselves a little bit more, to challenge ourselves, to step out of our comfort zone. Maybe in this next quarter coming up, it may just be one incident of life that we want to, step out of this comfort zone. We're always sharpening ourselves. I'm the first person to say, I have not arrived. I got to learn a whole lot more. And so I continue to kind of push myself. And so I know a lot of us can continue to push ourselves to step beyond the comfort zone, or the place of the scope of our knowledge of where we are, and embark on that hard thing, or that thing that seems a little intimidating, but we know we can do it through, like I said, through curiosity, through contemplation, through building up confidence in ourselves, and taking courage to do it. And so please put your takeaway inside of the chat, because now I'm going to go into our announcements for the Renewal Center. If you've taken the time to enjoy our time of tea time and the things that we bring here at the Renewal Center, we invite you to give, or to even become a partner with us And you can do that by sharing a donation here at the Renewal Center. All of these different ways that you can give, all of those meaning the places and ways to give are right there on your screen. Very easy ways to give. And as we always say, and I think that no donation is too small, we welcome your contribution. We thank you for supporting the Renewal Center. You can download our mobile app. Go to the mobile app store, whatever it is, and download the Renewal Center mobile app, or visit us on the website. Those are convenient ways to give as well. And so however means that you can give through, whatever avenue is right there for you on the screen. Also, coming up, we've been talking about this summer, our summer renewal prayer. It's been really great. We've had our prayer in June and last week in July. Also, the next one, if you missed it, you can join us for Renewal Summer Prayer, August the 13th. There's the information on the screen on how you can join us on Zoom right there. And so we're looking forward to you coming. We had a wonderful time in our past Renewal Summer Prayer, how God just spoke to us. And so we're thankful for that opportunity, and we invite you to join us. As we are thinking about prayer this coming Friday, every Friday, at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can log on to the Renewal Center. Once again, there is the Zoom password and everything there in front of you. Join us 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a moment of prayer. It's been really inspirational. God has been doing some great things through our prayer time. You do not have to turn on your screen. You can just come, get into the presence of the Lord through prayer, and join the rest of the community. God is doing great things again, as I said, through morning prayer. And so we invite you. Digital Discipleship is every Sunday at 10 a.m. We go live here on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can join us every first Sunday live and on Zoom on other Sundays. And we thank God again for what he is doing through Digital Discipleship and the messages that we receive. For those of us that are encountering grief in any form of loss, we have grief recovery specialists that are already ready to help, ready to provide resources and tools to help you navigate through this place of grief. These are individual grief sessions, and then, of course, we'll have group sessions in the future. If you want to know more about the Renewal Center's grief recovery method and that resource that is available, go to our website and find out more information. You can even send in a request to ask for questions about this service. We are excited about your interest. Okay. And last but not least, I guess I'm going to find a little video that I have here for the Women at the Well. The Women at the Well Bible study is going to be returning August the 2nd, and that's every first Saturday of the month. And this has been a really enriching time for women to come together in a soft place, but we dive into biblical principles, a place of fellowship. We are covering Becoming a Woman Whose God is Enough by Cynthia Hield. This has just been a really, a really great time for us to dive into this study. This is our second book study. And so if you know of any women that are interested, please check our social media pages so that you can find out how to join in on the first Saturday of the month. And we are excited about you coming. Okay, and so right now, let me take this slide off of here. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone today that took the time to join us for Tea Time Tuesday. Another week of pausing, building resilience, and resetting ourselves. I see some responses coming in. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, Renita, she's saying this is confirmation for me to continue moving forward and pursuing a personal goal I have put on the back burner for years now. Thanks, sis. Thanks, Nita. And I hope that you found some things that will help you move forward in that. And Monique is saying, I'm going to take more time contemplating about the new ideas I'm considering. Yes, thank you for contemplating. Thank you, Monique. And we are thankful for the endeavors that you're going to be moving into. And so there we have, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then Pamela, she's saying, my takeaways. Thank you for these prompts to help us dig into a thoughtful and meaningful way to identify valid opportunities for growth. Once again, Tea Time community, thank you so much for joining in today. Don't forget the 4 C's, and you can always come back to this renewal practice video to get the rest of the prompts if you need to write them in your journal. And so I want to honor your time. It is now 1:01. And so I want to say thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. And I will see, not I, but we, we'll see you again on our next Tea Time Tuesday, as we will pause, take time to reset and build resilience. And the next time you come, please invite a friend to join us. And so we look forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Stay cool. And remember that I am renewal. Take care of yourself.